I am Aaron, and we are here in the movie library, and hopefully the internet is going to work out okay. I wanted to do it down here today because it's been really hot here. Uh, when I last checked, it was upstairs around 31 degrees. I think right now it's about like 28, 27, something like that. So I've been working all day, but it's been an interesting day. I got an unboxing to do, but I got a bit of a story to tell. I'd ordered a couple of things from Amazon, and one of the things was that was a Millcreek release, but there was an issue. It well, the wrong one showed up. But I spoke with Millcreek, and I'm not going to say a lot on it right now because there's an upcoming video that I want to talk about it on, because it's really all I have. One thing I can say, and I will get into this more eventually, is that as far as like customer service, working with people goes, Mill Creek is the top of that list. I've dealt with all the companies. Hey there, Emily, welcome. Yeah, you made it for a live show, and at the beginning too. But Mill Creek, they kill it. They are the king of it, and them Mill Creek and Vinegar Syndrome are the two companies that I can always count on to get really great customer service, and like across the board. I got to speak with Barrett today, and if anybody's like definitely should be like the guy, the voice for Mill Creek, that's definitely Barrett. Hey Dave, welcome man. Yeah, gotta take care of the dog. So, as you guys know, I've been on a quest for the Ultraman sets. I've been hey there, Alan. I'm a huge Takatsu fan, and I grew up like with the old Ultraman shows. So, as these come out, as the legacy sets come out, a lot of these, like I've seen a lot of the legacy shows, so it's going to be going back to my childhood and kind of like seeing stuff like the Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultra Ace, and eventually we get to Ultra Terra and Ultra Leo and all that type of stuff. I haven't seen the newer stuff yet, so but I've heard a lot from Heath, Serial at Midnight, who you guys should be checking out. And I got a new one today, so I have one of the new ones that I was expecting today, and so right now I have three sets. I've got the original Ultraman and Ultra Ace, and new to this collection is Return of Ultraman. So for those who listen to me geek out on Just the Discs recently, because I recently did a Just the Disc podcast, and the very first thing that I talked about on there, spoiler alert, is I actually talked about Mill Creek's Ultraman series, and I got very geeky about it. So if you ever want to know anything about Ultraman, I pretty much talk about it on the latest Just the Disc to Watch podcast. So, and the way that it kind of works, basically. So listen to Just This. Recommend it. And I got another podcast that I'll tell you guys about in a second too, by the way. The way that it works is that Ultraman kind of, well, there's Ultra Q, which is kind of like the horror type show, the anthology series. Then there's Ultraman, which was kind of finding its way. Then we get to Ultra 7, which is kind of like, Ultra 7 is like, let's put in James Bond references, okay? So Ultra 7 would be like, I don't have Ultra 7 yet, but I remember the show. It's kind of like the From Russia with Love of the Ultraman series. So in that it's tougher, it has more edge to it, and that will come back in Orb, by the way. But I watch Heath's videos. Hey Kubrick. But so that will be the one that would kind of like bring in more of a grittiness to it. It's still like the older, it's the show era, but it really starts bringing stuff together. And then when you get to Return of Ultraman, that's like the Goldfinger of the Ultraman series, and that you're getting all the stuff from the old shows, like the Ultraman and Ultra Q type style stuff, and you're getting the Ultra 7. It's all come together in this like wonderful little package called Return of Ultraman, and that's the way the series goes. And then of course it's Ultra Ace and goes on from there. Well, I hope to keep the live videos going, Alan, so it's not so boring. Now yesterday I had a really interesting morning, afternoon, because I got off work and immediately I actually contacted Daniel, who does Cobwebs, a Gothic Cinema podcast. That's the title. And if you haven't been listening to Cobwebs, a Gothic Cinema podcast, it's really freaking good. It's like he talks a lot about the Hammer. He's done some Giallo stuff recently as well. And his last one was War of the Worlds. He's on this one. I'll get to that. Don't worry. So I got to speak. I got to guest on Daniel's podcast of Cobwebs, and it was pretty brilliant. A lot of fun. Hopefully, it's one I'm going to be back on again. So I think it's coming out on. He said around like late August, probably around August 25th, somewhere around there. So I'll keep you guys updated. And but that's not all. But that was fantastic. We had like a blast chatting. So I go on Skype, and I don't just so you know, I don't normally go on Skype very much. I just go on like basically when I'm just the discs or when I'm with Brian or I'm talking to Daniel on Cowbibs. That's pretty much my Skype activity. Or if I go on to see the kids every once in a while, but usually just do the Facebook, whatever. So I see there's like a notification, a friend notification, in my Skype messages, and I don't really notice the notifications. Don't look at them. I figure spam stuff and all that. But I should have looked. Apparently, I should have looked because it was from 2019, and I looked down, and I saw a name. So Jamie Blanks wants, friend request. And I thought about it for a second. So there was only one Jamie Blanks I could think of. And again, as you guys know, one of my favorite slasher directors from the 90s is Jamie Blanks, who did Urban Legend and Valentine and did Storm Warning as well. And of course did the remake of Long Weekend, which for some reason, hey Richard, they called here in North America Nature's Grave, which is a really weird name for it, but okay. Anyway, so I decided to read the message, and I did, and it was Mr. Blanks, it was Jamie Blanks, and he pretty much contacted me because he'd been watching the channel a bit, and he enjoyed it. So thank you. If you get to see this video, Jamie, thank you so much. I love your films, and I was honored that you contacted me. And at the time, he knew that I lived here in Nova Scotia, really close to where My Bloody Valentine was filmed. And he graciously offered to contact Scream Factory for me, give me their contact information, because he said, you can probably do a feature for the Blu-ray, because you're living right there, you're where it's being held at, and that kind of blew me away. So I immediately after I finished the podcast, I actually sat down and I sent him off a message, very carefully worded thank you message. Say, I thank you. I'm sorry that I didn't get this for about a year, and how's things going in Melbourne, all that type of stuff. And I got up this morning, and there was a big message from Jamie Blanks, and so it's kind of blew my mind. And it's weird when you do this little thing. It's a little channel and stuff that people that you don't realize actually know that you exist. Thanks, Emily. That was like, it kind of, I fanboyed, Emily. I totally fanboyed. Because it was one of those weird things. It was weird for me when the podcast that I listened to started coming on here and actually like talking and stuff. That was a big deal. And it's still an amazing deal. And to find out that there's some other like channels, and Millcreek said that they were aware of my videos, which I'm guessing is probably through Heath, to be totally honest with you. There's a Bob Ross positive energy drink. That sounds awesome, man. I did not know that existed. But Alan, that sounds great. We'll just put a little happy tree just right here. I'm drinking a Coke today, and it's got sugar cane in it, so it's like, oh, yeah. Oh yeah. So, before we get into the announcements, I do want to show off the Return of Ultraman. So, anybody here collecting these yet? Because you kind of should be. These are amazing. So, hey there, Mary. Oh, they do, yeah. Sugarcane Coke is actually from Mexico, but they sell it here. They sell sugarcane Coke. We have like Georgia peach, a raspberry one, and a Quebec maple. So George, man, check it out. So this here, so this pose is really, like this is the big pose. This is when he's going to do his big move in Ultraman. So it's really cool to see the pose on the front of it. Like always, they go out of their way. So, you know, this is the front, this is the side, and this is the back of the slit. What's really neat here, though, is, as always, there is a picture exclusive, a completely different picture for the back and the front and the back of the sets. Gonna take out my movie spree because I'll probably give that to the kiddies. There is artwork on the inside, so I just take out the 6 disc here, because there's 6 discs for most of these sets, except for Ultra Q, which has 4 because it was a slightly shorter show. And each one of these discs has a has one of the monsters on it. Return of Ultraman is a really good series, by the way. You got 5 out of the 6. So what do you need left? Ultra Q? Is it Ultra Q? Or is it Ultra Ace? So either you missed out on Ultra Q, which I don't think you did, Mary, because Ultra Q is the horror one. And I'm guessing you're thinking you're a horror person, so you would like the horror of Ultra Q, especially that like creepy spider episode. Whoa. Which I don't have. I got to get Ultra Q. Ultra Q wasn't in stock when I went to get Ultra Q initially. So I went with Ultraman and I got Ultra Ace. And Return of Ultraman, so I need Ultra Q and Ultra 7. And then, of course, the new ones, the Ultra Geed, Ultra Orb, Ultraman Orb, and Ultra X. And I need Ultra Q Neo. So, as always, these have booklets with them. And I love the booklets in these sets. Hey there, 13th. By the way, 13th Wolfman just did a video showing off his Kino Lorber sale stuff. So, definitely check that out. So Ultraman, Return of Ultraman, uses a new Ultraman character named Ultraman Jack. And unlike like some of the ones before where they need like a device, or in Ultra Ace, the 2 ones have to put like the rings together, or there's the wand, right? In Ultraman, in Return of Ultraman, he just kind of has to put his hand up. I think it's his right hand. I'm not sure, right or left. I think he puts his right hand up to kind of like to summon the power of Ultraman. So as always, we got the Ultraman stuff. We got like, we talked about the series here, a great episode guide. What I really love, this is really, really cool, is a guide to all the monsters that's in this season. And what always freaks me out is there's always one human. There's always one human, and I love that. It's so cool. Of course, it has the key technology for the Ultraman series. And this one here, George, what region is this? Is this an all region release? Let me see. No, it's region A. Now, if you ever get like a region free player, George, I definitely recommend it. Ultraman's a really cool show, and I've been watching it since I've been a kid, and I always enjoy it. And the Millcreek releases for Ultraman are some of my favorite releases this year. And this is a year when this has been a banner year for companies. Like 2020 has been a crazy year, guys. But as for like company releases, like stuff that's been put out by Criterion, by Vinegar Syndrome, by Severin, by Arrow Video, just has been insane. But man, there's just so many great box sets coming out. And if you've missed out on these, another neat little thing, by the way, is these are all numbered. I'm not sure you can, they're Steelbook limited editions if you're a Steelbook person. Now, I grew up, when I used to collect a lot of the She-Ra, and He-Man sets. And those had a big mural on them. Now, the people at Millcreek that worked on these Ultraman sets, same people that worked on those really cool He-Man and She-Ra sets that came out back for, remember BCI, when the company? So they worked for BCI and they did those really incredible sets, those art cards and special, like when you put them all together, there was a big mural. And as you can see, I'm missing a couple, but You can see the formation of the Ultraman mural, which I think is pretty incredible. Everything from the original Ultraman to Jack right there, and Ace. See the monsters in the background. So super, super cool stuff. And I will be talking more about Millcreek in the near future. I'm going to be doing a Millcreek centric video. I bought Ultraman and Ultraman Ace. It's kind of an interesting story, which I'll get into another time actually. Before, so today I got a Return of Ultraman. Ultra 7's not out. Not Ultra 7. Yeah, sorry. I need Ultra Q and Ultra 7. Those are the two that I need in this one here. And then the newer stuff, because the newer stuff, by the way, is really good. Are you a fan of Ultraman, Mary? Well, I'm guessing you are, because damn, these are good. Have you bought any of the new ones, like the Jeed or the Orb one, yet? Because those are really interesting too. They don't have the sexy mural, but they're still really, really cool. And I love the fact that in the new Ultraman series, by the way, for instance, welcome back, Dave. What they do is they'll have like a complete TV series, right? And after the series is over, they'll have a theatrical film. And theatrical film like be like Ultraman Orb, like the movie type thing. And they'll really set up, like it'll have, a lot of times they're self-contained, sometimes they're really setups, like there are big setups for the next series to come as well. But it's a nice way to end off the series. You get the whole complete series and the movie. So with their new sets, by the way, with Geed and Orb, they have the complete series and the movie too. So you're not just getting the series and like, you'd have to buy the movies down the road, or maybe somebody who put a movie collection set. No, they don't chintz on that. They give you the complete series and the theatrical film, all in that one set. You don't have to go buy another set to get the movies. The movie's there. And I think that's pretty incredible. I need more Coke. Then we're going to talk. We got announcements to talk about. It's some pretty awesome stuff today. But yes, if you haven't, do you have the Ultraman? No, the anime sets aren't out yet. Eventually they'll get to that. Like we got to get through Leo and Taro are the next two like legacy seasons. Then it's the Ultraman anime set. I didn't know that. Are you serious? Geed and Orb are a front cover mural. That's really cool. Okay, thank you. Because I had no clue. It's just, you still got the same like cool stuff inside. Those steelbooks are really good looking, and they got that like that kind of clear, plastic, which it's really cool looking anyway. But either way you go, got to get yourself some Ultraman. It's really good stuff. Also, if you're, let's just say for some reason you're not a Takatsu fan, what the heck? But you may not be. But you know what you might be? You might be an Andy Sedaris fan. And Millcreek recently put out 12 Andy Sedaris films. 12 of Andy Sedaris stuff. And yeah, they're really, really cool. I love Andy Sedaris films. He rocks. It's like action and attractive girls, attractive guys, lots of explosions. You can't miss out on that type of stuff. All right, you guys want to talk the announcements? Because Vincent made some announcements. And they made announcements that were worthy of an October bundle. The September Vinegar Syndrome announcements were worthy of an October bundle. They're that damn good. And the ones that I really, really wanted to check out. My eldest just contacted me. Oh, it's going to be a very expensive file. Emily, you've seen the announcements, right? All right. You ready, guys? Are you ready for your pocketbook to cry? Because, oh yes, it shall weep. So there are 4 announcements from Vinegar Syndrome. One of them is a brand new VSA release. You guys know I collect the VSAs no matter what, but I would tell you this thing right now. This particular VSA is the one I'm most excited about since the VSA announcements have come about. See if any of you guys agree. I'm going to go with the VSA announcement first, and then we'll talk about other stuff. So first off, for VSA, the new Vinegar Syndrome archive release is Raphael Zeleninsky's a spellcaster. Somebody asked if Ultraman was a Marvel character. No, not a Marvel character. Thanks, 13 Wolfman. I missed because I don't have the messages open like I normally do, because I'm reading stuff here. So it stars, of course, it's got Adamant, who's one of my favorite singer of mine, to be honest with you, is in this one, and Gail O'Grady, NYPD Blue. What's her name? Tracy Lind is in it as well, I think, if I remember correctly. So there's a new 2K scan from a 35 millimeter interpositive. There's an interview with actor Richard Blade, interview with actor special effects artist William Butler, interview with actor special effects artist Michael Deek, promotional sales gallery limited to 4,000 copies, and double-sided poster as always with their stuff. And super cool one. I'm a huge Goody Two Shoes. It's a favorite song of mine. You might laugh. One of my favorite songs. But very sexy looking cover. Obviously, I don't have it up here, but it's really nice. Next up, we'll mention the Spanish one, because there is a Spanish horror release. Yes, it is actually, Ragman. You're exactly correct. It is a pre-full moon kind of a. I think Spellcaster is an Empire Pictures release, so because it is a Charles Band release. So it's interesting because that's different. We got a Charles Band release coming from Vinegar Syndrome. So next up is another kind of like a Mexican horror film, and a lot of these overlooked Mexican horror films and Spanish horror films, you got stuck in my head now, 13 Wolf Man, are turned out to be amazing gems, lost hidden gems. So this one here is called Grave Robbers, and it's kind of like it's sort of like a slasher film. Apparently, I have not seen this movie. I'll go with Mick Jagger there because I don't know a lot about Dwight Yoakam. I do have a move to do. You noticed I got a different spot, right? I had to, man. I'm fingers crossed it works. We got a newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35 millimeter original negative, Unearthing the Past, interview with Ruben Galindo Jr., a commentary track with the stereo continues, and a reversible cover art as well. Definitely, because of the connection, because I got like a dodgy iPad, a bit of all of it. Oh no, Brian, you jinxed me. No, I'm joking. Okay, next up is a really big one, Memorial Day Massacre. Now this is one, ironically, that I initially saw, I think in an early Millcreek, one of those 50-pack releases, back in the early days, right? So Memorial Day Massacre, great cast of Cameron Mitchell, William Smith is in this one. Oh, you didn't have the first page, it was me. But really cool film. I actually really like Memorial Day Massacre. If you have Memorial Valley Massacre, Memorial Day Massacre, maybe like that one too. I haven't seen it. But a new 4K restoration for this film. That's going to look amazing. Welcome to Memorial Valley, an interview with director Robert C. Hughes, Ranger Danger, an interview with John Kerry, actor John Kerry. It's a really good film. I actually really like it. Promotional Stills Gallery. And I had to leave this one last because I got the Severin releases of parts 3 and 4. So I'm super stoked about part 5. And if you've seen it there and don't realize this is part 5, it is. So Killing Birds, which is otherwise known as Zombie 5, by the way, with Robert Vaughn, and Laura Wendell is here. And produced by Joe D'Amato, really cool, directed by... That's true, I do have parts 1 and 2. Interview with the director, Claudio Latanzi, an interview with soundman Larry Revine. Oh, Larry Revine's soundman on this one? And a brand new audio commentary. You ready for this one, guys? With Sam Deegan. Robert Vaughn was in season 5 of the A-Team, which is really good color, William, because a lot of people forget that he did the fifth season. Robert Vaughn used to live around your area. Did you meet him? He's such a cool dude, man. So those are the 4 announcements coming from Vinegar Syndrome. Hope to see them very good there, but that's the covers. Now I'm going to open up so I can see the message that I missed out on. And try not to burp too much. But I'm so thirsty and it's so warm today. How do I know when the stream freezes? Well, Ragman, for me, well, it just freezes for you. But for me, the word disconnected comes up. Then it goes black and white. And then it goes in like a circular motion. And then I have to hit reconnect afterwards. So it seems just like a freeze to you. But for me, it's a nightmare hoping that's going to come back. That's what it is. Looks like Marvel has a comic. Good news, by the way. I read an article when I was at work that basically said that, you know, the whole, hey there, Steve, that Marvel is not doing any more 4Ks and they're stopping, they're not going to do Fox 4Ks and it's only going to be brand new stuff. Apparently, that was just a rumor. That's been debunked. And Forbes, I think it was Forbes magazine, had an interview, and Marvel said, no, that's not true. That they're actually still going to be doing 4Ks. That they have no plans of canceling 4Ks and any older 4K releases. It's a revenue stream for them, and it'll be silly to take it away. So it was a rumor. It made made it around. See, that's there. There you go. That's what I need for like this channel merchandise, like a frisbee. Like a Call to Cinema frisbee, with with Call to Cinema reconnecting on a frisbee. That would be awesome. Oh, sorry. I mean, Disney said it's not true. Did I say Marvel? I'm sorry. Yeah, Disney said it's not true. Thank you, Scouter. It's the shakiness of like losing the connection twice that's got me. That's what I'm using. But as you know, I got to make a mistake at least once per video that you guys got to call me on. I would like to say that I just do it so that you know, so that you can catch me in an error, but no, that's not the case. The case is I just make mistakes because I'm like that. It was a rumor, and it's been proven. And I'm glad because there's a lot of Fox 4Ks that I really want. I need Dick Tracy on 4K. So, for everybody out there, I need Dick Tracy on 4K. I need a 4K of Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. That needs to be in my life. I saw that movie in theater. Unlike a lot of people, I actually really like that film. And I love the aesthetic look of Dick Tracy. It's just so, like, as much as you want to say, well, there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC's all edgy and stuff. Warren Beatty said, I'm making Dick Tracy a comic book movie, and it's literally going to look like a comic book movie. Who owns Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That'd be Disney. That's under their, I think it's under their Buena Vista label. But yeah, it's I'm hoping. Well, I won't be able to get them out. Like, I'm gonna get any of them in September because it's just going to be too expensive. But I want all 4 of them. There's not one of those releases that I don't think is a solid release that's worth owning. Hey there, David. All four of those releases are worth owning. I'm planning, guys, I'm planning my October now. So I'm really starting to plan my October now. So I'm already thinking up what I'm going to be doing for the month of October. And yes, I will be doing 31 days of live here again this year. So, but not only that, not only am I doing 31 days of live right here on this channel, but I'm trying to convince my better half to do some bonus ones for the Patreon. So we're doing some stuff there as well. Yeah, those are four great releases. 13 Wolfman, Moral Valley Massacre. You got like Spellcaster, that Spanish one that really intrigues me, and everything like Killing Birds, of course. It's a fun film. I mean, like, and I like Madonna in the film. I love what's his name? Al Pacino's character. God, I'm a big fan too. I can't remember the name. Do you know what I really want? I'm gonna pick it up one of these days. Millcreek put out a Sheena release that I gotta get. I like cheesy stuff. I really do. It fills me with joy and happiness. And at a time when things can be kind of stressful. Well, did he play Mumbles? Oh no, he played. No, that was Dustin Hoffman. I think was Mumbles. Big by Caprice. That's who it is, right? Big by Caprice. Because I think Mandy Patinkin was 88 keys, right? Breathless Mahoney was Madonna. William Forsythe was Flat Top. Brilliant, by the way. Makeup, but by the way, guys, if you have not seen Dick Tracy, it is bloody brilliant. Like the makeup on Dick Tracy. For years, I used to go to my local library, and they had like this Dick Tracy casebook, and what it was it had like it collected the newspaper strips of some of the best Dick Tracy storylines, and it was brilliant. So when I got to the theater to see it, it was just like the makeup was amazing, and just it was shot like the colors were so bright and super kind of. You sat in theater too, me too. It was the colors were so bright and colorful and almost not neon, but like just really kind of like really comic bookish, and it was framed so well. Just there's so much brilliance in that film that people don't remember because it's not, nobody puts on a superhero costume. uh, and movies like that always get trashed, especially back then. Comic book movies did not get you did not get a break back then. But nowadays, I think it needs a 4K, a good release, a good 4K release. Well, let's see Arrow Video put it out. Put out a 4K release of that one. Go along with their Flash Gordon and their Pitch Black and stuff like that, right? Because I can see them doing a really good job. But whoever puts out Dick Tracy in 4K, they got some money. Around 73 or 74. Sorry, I was counting my 4Ks. Around 74 4Ks, 74, 75, somewhere like that. Not a lot, like like not like a big collection like some people. I just I just really started collecting, and I've been collecting them kind of slower. I try to just get what like the ones that I really want. But like considering like I've had it for like over a year now, not like a lot compared to like like you'll see like big collections like brass tacks, right, or films at home. Oh, he's not here right now. Hopefully watches this later. Heath, Serial at Midnight. Congratulations on going 4K, man. I knew it eventually had to happen. He's got a 4K setup now. But he made a neat little comment because I watched his recent video. I watched his recent video, and he talked about the 4K setup, and him and his spouse were there, and kind of like a couch conversation type of thing. Hey there, Amy. And he said, which comic book should be adapted? Ones that don't have superheroes in them. I'm going to go with that. Because I'll be honest with you, I love superheroes, but I want them back in the comics. I really kind of do. I wish comics were getting more credit. And like, I would love to say, I'd be really happy to see less superhero films and more superhero comics like doing well, because it doesn't look like the success of the superhero like cinema has rubbed off on the comics well. Sergeant Rock, hell yeah, hell yeah. I love Sergeant Rock, Easy Company, Haunted Tank, love that stuff. Blu-ray King. He's anti 4K. How can you be anti 4K? Betamax is awesome though, Emily. I would love to own a Betamax. Here's the thing: do not shackle yourself with one format. And I think Heath, I know Heath would agree with me, in that every format has its place. There are so many people that are so dead set on like, I just get this. And like, I think that when it comes to like format, like, you know, like format, like night gatekeepers, whatever. The worst one for that is Blu-ray. The worst one for it is Blu-ray. People that go like aggressively Blu-ray, and I have lots of Blu-ray. Not everybody, but some people, and you guys will know people like this, are like when somebody gets a new religion or something like that they're really really into, and that's their focus, right? So they're like, no, and if you say DVD or if you say 4K, they'll be like, the Blu-ray. There can be only one. No, there can be DVDs. You can have DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks in your collection. You can have all of it. You can have a Laserdisc, VHS, a Betamax. But for some reason, if they're really really strongly like Blu-ray, then they're unless they're Cinemasker for some reason, then they'll be like, no, you can't do 4K. There's no reason for it, and they'll give like crazy reasons for not doing it. I don't want to say crazy reasons. I don't want to be insulting, but you know what I mean. Exactly, Emily. That's like me. I love all the different formats. You can look back here. Behind me, you see Blu-rays, you see DVDs. There's a 32-inch CRT television set like facing me right there, and a Laserdisc player, and a VCR right beneath me right there. Upstairs, I got a 4K TV set with a 4K Blu-ray player, which is my Xbox One S, and a region-free player hooked up there. Upstairs, keep on walking up even further, in the room that I was into recently, you saw me do a video in, there's a 55-inch TV there. It's a 3D TV, and it has a region-free player attached to that. And it also has a little Roku attached to it as well for when I want to find some stuff that I can't find, unfortunately, on physical media as of yet. And I do have a film projector too. I have an 8mm and a Super 8mm film projector. The most sold physical media right now is still DVDs. DVDs are still the highest selling like physical media that we have. Do I have a region free? I have 2 region free players right now. I have one on the second floor and one, first floor, because this is basement, and then one up on the second floor as well. So I got one hooked up to my 4K, and I got one hooked TV, and one hooked up to the 3D TV. But DVDs sells the most. It still sells the most. And the reason, because like not everybody has, well, you think not everybody's a 4K player, not everybody's a Blu-ray player. There's a lot of people, like let's just say for instance you're going up to your cabin, for instance, you want to just get a cheap DVD, right? I still buy DVDs too. I buy a lot of DVDs. You say you got kids and you're going away for the weekend. You're going on a little drive. Maybe it's a 3 or 4 hour drive. You're going to put like a little player on the back of your back of the seat, or you want to give them like a portable player. You don't find a lot of portable, like I'm sure you do, but for an inexpensive price, there's not a lot of really portable Blu-ray players, right? But there are a ton of portable DVD players that people can use. And you can go, like Luke said, you can buy like secondhand DVDs for a very inexpensive price. Most computers that still have a physical drive on them are DVD drives, unless you spend the extra money to get a Blu-ray drive put in. Most of them are DVD drives. You bought a 4K flat screen because it's VCR jacks. That's pretty cool. Mine does too, actually. I got right in the front there. 4K players do play Blu-rays and DVDs. So it's the same as like when your Blu-ray player went to decide, when you got a Blu-ray player and you're like, oh, I got all these DVDs. Are they going to play? And then you'd hear these nightmare stories like, oh no, I bought this Blu-ray player and now all my DVDs don't work. And then you're like, oh my God. And then you bought a Blu-ray player and you realize that person was talking crap. Older people on DVDs, yeah, exactly. Like that's what I meant when I said the cabin thing. Like a lot of older people, especially and from my area, they'll go up to cabins and stuff like that. Different regions for 4K. Well, 4K, Dave, is the first format that is completely region free. So it does not matter if you buy a 4K from Japan or from Scotland or England or Canada or the United States. That 4K will work in any of your systems, no matter what country you're in, because 4Ks are region free. So if, let's say you wanted to grab, I don't know, let's say you wanted to grab 2001 and you're in London and maybe it's sold out there or you can't find it there, and you look at Amazon Canada, for instance, and you see, oh look, 2001 is it's on sale for like $20. The 4K release with like all the special cards and stuff like that. I'm going to pick that up. So you order it, it comes. No, VHS actually is, they're region locked. I'm pretty sure VHS was region locked too. But yeah, 4K release, really 4K is region free. Well, I never understood the region lock thing, but they used to say it was because of rights issues. I don't think VHS tapes are region free, actually. I think they're region locked. I would have to check. You're going to make me check, aren't you? Let's just check. Because I am fairly sure, because I had a friend that had some, like Doc True tapes. I don't think it worked. Because they're from England. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's not that they're region locked. Is that there was PAL tapes and CCAM tapes and NTSC tapes, which made it like almost impossible to have, like, you couldn't. It would be problematic to watch like a PAL tape in an NTSC. It will be extremely problematic. Pirating would be a big reason for that. Just ask the Dreamcast about pirating. Does 4K play region, DVD-R, and DVD-R plus? I would assume, Alan, because as far as I know, they play everything. Exactly, 13 foot pound. The PAL system, and over in Morocco, for instance, use the CCAM system. Yeah, it plays everything except HD DVDs, which was its own format. HDVD didn't win. See, for the longest time, like you had Blu-ray and HD DVD, and it was kind of going back and forth on who was going to win. Sony had lost in the VHS wars. Sony was behind Betamax, and Betamax lost, and Sony didn't forget. So when it came time for the next, or am I thinking Betamax? Yeah, okay. So when it came time for the next one, when it came time to go in the format war again, Sony was not going to lose. They put out their Blu-ray. HDVD was like Microsoft. Yeah, they eventually had to switch because that's the thing, right? And it was going back and forth. But the thing that was key was locking in exclusivity contracts from different studios. So some studios were going back and forth. Obviously, a studio worked with Peter Jackson, with King Kong. That was a big feather early on in the cap for HD DVD. But when Disney signed an exclusivity deal for Blu-ray, it was a death knell for HD DVD. And HD DVD, although it worked with the Xbox, you had to have like an HD DVD player and remote that you would attach to your Xbox, and the PS3 was a Blu-ray player right out of the box. You just really had to just plug it in and upgrade it, and it played Blu-rays. So it made it much easier and much more convenient to buy Blu-ray. But it went back and forth for a while. But Disney's signing a deal with Sony to go exclusive to Blu-ray was the killing point. It was the death blow. Oh yeah, I mean like you can play DVDs, Blu-rays, and on gaming systems. You can play 4K on the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, by the way. Ironically, Sony's own system, the PlayStation 4, does not play 4K UHDs. On the major read, Betamax Odyssey would not allow porn companies to use their format. Well, that's just insane. Any type of physical media, like going forward, like success wise, the adult film industry is a huge part of that. If you want your aspect of physical media to do well, then you really want the adult film industry to pick it up, because they're the ones that pushes this stuff forward. That's insanely true. I would like to have some HD DVDs. I'd like to have an HD DVD player too. Yeah, the PS5 will be the first one to play 4Ks. Hopefully some. They'll play CDs too, because the PlayStation 4 inexplicably did not play CDs. And that was a big mistake, in my opinion. I know everybody got their Spotify and stuff like that, but I still buy CDs too every once in a while. Oh, VHS will allow anyone, and also the other thing, VHS quality wasn't as good as Betamax. That's a given. But VHS could tape 2 hours, and if you what were those called? CEDs, capacitive enhanced discs. So CEDs was a format that came out before VHS. They had these like big square plastic cases, and the disc would be on the inside. So you would like push it into the system, and you'd take the case, and you watch the movie, and then you'd push the case back in afterwards and take the film like that. 3D, guys. That is how I initially saw movies like Clash of the Titans, Omen 2, and Friday the 13th, actually. Even though I saw it in theater, actually, when I saw it on video, I saw it in CED format before I saw it in VHS. Do I remember one of the killer parts about my my because I've got like a record player, well, my record player that doesn't work right now because it needs a needle. And one of the reasons I didn't go get another needle was because the thing I picked up, the that record player for, was because it had an 8-track player on it, and the 8-track player burnt out, which is a shame because I love 8-tracks. I had the 8-track of Alice Cooper. You know the old band he was in, kind of the country type band. Fun record of when the storytelling ones. I used to love those. I remember Power Records, like they did like a lot of the Marvel ones, like Spider-Man and the Moonwolf, stuff like that, on Power Records. See, Emily, I almost bought a CED machine, and I was going to pick it up. My better half, like, we were looking for a Laserdisc player, right? And this guy said, "Well, I got a Laserdisc player. I got around like 50 Laserdiscs for it, and it comes with like a small TV as well." And I'm like, "A small TV?" And I was like, "That can't be a Laserdisc player." So he sent me a picture, and it was a CED player. And because I'm a moron, well, not all the times, because I can be a moron, I was like, "That's not a Laserdisc player. I'm not going to get that." And she's like, "Are you sure? We don't see these very often." But I was like, I was really stubborn. I said, "No, I want a Laserdisc player right now. I'm not going to buy any other player until I get." Now, how dumb does this sound? Like, be honest. You can be blunt with me. That's pretty dumb, right? It is. It is pretty dumb. Uh, like, I'm not going to get that. And it was going to, and you know how much it cost? It was $40 for a CD machine and a TV, a CED TV, and 50 CED discs. Uh, that was one of the dumbest moves I have ever done. Mini DVDs. Oh, what were those called? UMDs. The UMDs. Are you talking about the ones that played on the Sony PSP? The Universal Media Discs. Those were UMDs. The first that came out with the Sony PSP was Spider-Man. Now VCDs were like were like video CDs, uh, and they were a lot of like Asian companies would use a lot, and I think they still do, right? Use a VCD. So I remember the first time one of my friends got it was an Evil Dead Trap or something like that. It was one of those ones, the Evil Dead Trap or Mr. Vampire, one of those things, right? And I think that when he got it initially, it was it was a VCD, which is like it looks like it's in a CD type case, and usually there's like most of the times for a film there could be like two CDs or like two VCDs for the film. I wish, Luke, that 3D would make a comeback, but I don't see it happening anytime in the near future unless the newer TVs take it up, and I don't see them doing it. They're going to be looking towards like higher, like they're going to look towards 4K. They're going to look towards 8K. They're going to look any way to put in streaming, any type of apps, Roku, that type of thing. I have a 3D TV in like now upstairs, like as my backup TV, and I'll be sad when it's gone because I know I'm probably not going to get another one. Oh, excuse me. Do I buy books on tape or CDs? I don't anymore. I used to buy a lot of books on tape. I remember The Mist was a really good one on tape. Yes, please smack that like button. Give it a slap and give it a good whack. But no, not too hard. It's a sensitive like button. Thank you, Dave, by the way. I really appreciate that. You weren't surprised the 3D TVs never took off? I was. I mean, like, there was such good stuff to be put out, and I was so excited. I was finally able to see Creature from the Black Lagoon on 3D, House of Wax I got on 3D. Were those three dislikers? But still, they're here. So I'll give them credit for disliking me and yet being here. Because they come back every time. They'd be scared to tell you who they are, but they come back every time. I thought about a projector, and one of my friends, a real big gamer, him and his girlfriend, got a projector. They were really big on Sony for a long time, right? And so all their house, like they had like they came together, and they were a couple, a really sweet couple, and like one of the they're such a nice couple. But when they got together, moved in together, they wanted to have their own stuff just in case. So they each had bought their own PS4. But they had like a projector which they would use for gaming, because they're more gamers than they were like film watchers. And we used to argue. I'd be like, Nintendo, 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 and he was like, Sony, Sony, Sony. But then Animal Crossing happened. Oh yeah, I forgot to put it back up. Remind me, kid. Don't always remind me. I got like the batteries put in, because I put in all the ones upstairs, right? But I got to put in the one down here too. I forgot it. I don't want to have my movies go catch on fire. But I've heard nothing but great things. You got to get a good projector. So Culture Trini, I'm guessing you got a great projector. Like I got a small projector, not like a really good one. Hey there, River. But it's one that we use basically for Halloween. We have like the kind of the fun, creepy stuff like that we project onto the window. So when people go by, they'll like to hear the music, and they'll see like the Frankenstein and the Mummy and Dracula dancing and stuff like that. Just for kids. I wanted to get. I better have one let me do it. Hey there, Joseph. I wanted to get like the trick or treat one, where you could put it onto the wall, to the wall, and basically you see like a shadow of somebody coming out, and like there's no more candy left in the thing, and like Sam comes along and like chops off the person's head. It was scary actually, but my better half said, no, you're not gonna like terrorize kids. I do actually. I do dress up for Halloween. Me and my better half both dress up. She was like, my better half has. If you've seen like my Patreon videos, then you see my better half, and she's got like curly dark hair, right? So she dressed up as Mario last year, which was bloody brilliant actually, because like where she's got the curly hair, like when she put on the Mario, it was brilliant. I died. I dressed up. Thank you. I'm going to tell her that. Like, I find her extremely cute. So one year, what I did was I dressed up in the Scream outfit for work, because like one of my coworkers, really sweet girl, actually, she doesn't like horror. So you guys have seen my like orphan killer mask. You know, the really creepy mask that I got from the film. So anyway, so what I did, because I'm a bit of a dick when it comes to safe stuff, is I took the orphan killer mask, okay? And it's really tight fitting, and it's really kind of creepy and stuff. And then I put on the Scream mask. So when I went in, I sat down, she's like, "Ah, you're in the Scream mask." Yeah, I am. And so I took out the Scream mask and had the freaky orphan killer mask on the inside. And she didn't kill me, so I'm I'm still alive. So that's always good. Joseph, you got your Severn package. Both me and 13 Wolfman are super jealous of you, but congratulations. I'm waiting for like, I know Culture Trini put like a message there, but it hasn't come up on here yet. You got your shipping notification yesterday. High five. Let me know when you get it. What if my basement floods? Don't even go there. See, I already went through this some. I went through this already. My, I used to collect comics when I was a kid. I lost a lot of very valuable comics in a basement flood, and my basement's already flooded down here actually. We had like a flooding issue when we first moved in here. See all this around here? I literally like put my arms into these things here, and carried every single one of these like films and shelves and everything upstairs on my own. So he doesn't have to watch what he says. That's a compliment, actually. She is cute. She'd much appreciate that. My thing like kind of crapped out on me, so I had to go back in. So hopefully I don't miss messages here, guys. I didn't actually see Sim David's Basement Flood. There's a lot of channels I got to catch up on, or people that I just missed out on. You ever like get on like what am I watching in October, Amy? I'm not going to tell you yet, but I will be doing 31 days of Halloween, 31 live days Halloween. I will be having bonus episodes with my better half on my Patreon. Those are going to be very special. I'm going to make sure that they are actually. I'm going to tempt you all by then. You may not be. You might be thinking about it, but I will tempt you. I will tempt you. I will be. It'll be like the up in the with Moses. Is it Moses? Was it Moses? Who wants to know? Okay, don't know my Bible well. I will tempt you in the mountains. 13 Ghosts. I may or may not be getting that soon. Our movie picks on Instagram are from Projector. Oh, wow. 65 inches is what I'm going for next, for TV-wise. Oh, yeah, I had everything. All this was upstairs. If you guys were watching back then, I'm not sure like which one you guys were, I know. But yeah, I had to move all this upstairs. It was like there was no room at all in the living room. It was the dinette was like completely filled with like with movie shelves, so it was hard to get to. It was both hard. Can I be honest? I love my movie layout, my setup here, but I would not be completely honest if I didn't tell you that I miss a little bit of my setup in my apartment. Like everything was like more cramped, but everything was also at hand. Like I have to walk down the stairs now, and if it's like movies, I'm here. If it's like TV shows, then I go in the room over there, and so the bigger stuff. The apartment setup, yeah, because I had two originally. I lived downstairs. I got the St. John's. That's where I started these videos at. My early videos they're okay. They're my. If you ever watch any of my early stuff, remember I was new to it, so keep that in mind. But yeah, and then we moved upstairs, which gave us like a lot more room, and then we moved here. Yeah, I live like St. John's. Like for us, I think our favorite place like living was at the time was St. John's. Potato chip tasting videos. What's the last time I made a rant video? It's probably that like the one that got so popular. I don't normally do rant videos at all. Like that's not my thing. So you really got to be something to get me upset. But the one is I did that like Scream Factory one, and it no, actually no, there's a lie. I did a rant video on my Instagram and on my Twitter, and it was about the Scooby Doo and the Looney Tunes animation. Which one's the popular one? Shame on You, Scream Factory. It was about Nightbreed. But the animation rant scholar, you're right. That's the last one that I did, and that was extremely popular on Instagram. What's my most watched video? It might still be Girls, Guns, and G-Strings, which is Millcreek, which comes full circle because I'm talking Millcreek here today. Actually, if you never saw the first of the video, I was praising heaps on Millcreek because there's a video coming up that I'm going to be doing, and I got a whole story to tell behind Millcreek, and it is very, very, very extremely favorable towards their company, and just incredible guys that'll be coming up in the future. So look forward to that one. Trust me, it's going to be a really good one. Uh, do I watch my own? I have tried to, but I find it a bit cringeworthy. To be honest with you, I sometimes I'll watch a little bit. It's hard to watch yourself. Um, I kind of like live in the moment of like the video that I do. Like sometimes if I got to go back, like see like a comment or something like that, or there's something that I want to check on, or I want to check on like quality. Uh, that Girls, Guns, and G-Strings is the Sedera set, the one that eventually came out in all those really cool Blu-rays. Uh, you're lucky, Amy, because I can't do. Watch a couple minutes of mine. I'll be like, I should have said this here. I shouldn't have talked so fast there. Like my accent was showing in that part of the video. Maybe I should have fixed my hair. I look a little bit too much like Emmett Brown. Uh, so, but yeah, I don't normally watch my videos. Uh, I uh, I will sometimes listen to podcasts that I'm in. Like I'll listen to them once, uh, twice if I think I did a really good job on certain ones. I was extremely proud of the Ultraman portion of the Just for This podcast that I did. The recent one, the To Watch Pile, I think it's volume 6. Uh, I was extremely proud when I listened to that. Uh, that I could tell, yes, I know my Ultraman stuff. And sometimes I feel like I maybe didn't sound confident enough, or maybe I spoke too fast. But I felt good about that. So if you've listened to that podcast, I felt really good about that. I recently did one with Daniel, and it's the first time that I've done Cobwebs, a Gothic cinema podcast. But it came really easy, and that is like to be honest, when I guessed on the podcast, but Brian and Daniel are really really good at like drawing out getting the right information out, and editing, and just basically kind of pulling it out there. So I just been lucky enough that I've been on two incredibly good podcasts with two really good podcasters that in my opinion brought out better in me. I have turned mine off on the background once or twice. I'm not gonna lie. What channels do I watch? It goes back and forth. I mean, I I watched a lot. I mean, I watched 13 Wolfman, AME, Cubic Lever. God, a lot. I watched a lot of you guys' channels. Uh, it's just catching up on things sometimes, and sometimes you just get in the mood and you want to watch certain things like video essays or stuff like that. There's a video essayist named Lindsay Ellis, and I find her stuff really. She's a bit cerebral, and I like that. Uh, we have a good channel. Like I mean, I when I watch, I have fun, I enjoy. Uh, I found your channel before I realized that you're coming on here. That's the way it happens. Usually, most of you guys that channels I saw before you were commenting on here, because I just go on looking for stuff. And I'll watch a lot of different stuff. With my better half, we have certain channels we watch together, and those are more like mainstreamy, I guess mainstream type stuff, like Dead Meat, for instance, and Brandon Tenold, of course, and Fanboy Flicks. So yeah, if you haven't watched those guys, they're really good. Fanboy Flicks videos with Neil Breen. Oh yes, hell yeah. Cinemasochist is one I watch myself. My better half really hasn't watched a lot of that. I'm trying to just think of the bigger name stuff now because I do watch all your guys' channels. It's just sometimes I got to binge them. And Alex Myers, a very different channel, but I think he's really really good at what he does, and it's not something that I would normally have like gravitated towards. But he reviews like the weirdest stuff, like Netflix like movies, like teen romance movies, and uh, Disney and Nickelodeon shows. like Harley and stuff like that. Alex Myers, yep. But he does it with such humor and such self-deprecation. And as Canadian, I understand self-deprecation, especially when it comes to humor, and such cool little animation that I really found myself enjoying his stuff. And there was one video, and this is one of the things I gotta say, is that my better half was not watching his like much of his stuff, and she watched the video, and there was a scene. I'm not sure which video it was. I wish I knew right now, cause she spit. Like, so that's one of the biggest compliments you get for a comedy video. I would digitize the end of my video library. I should, Luke, because that's something that you really, you want to do just to have a backup just in case. Uh, but I but I just I haven't done it yet. My cousin digitized everything that he has. He likes to have physical media copies of absolutely everything that he owns, but he will take and he'll, yeah, Can I say the word? Are you allowed to say it? I'm not sure if you're allowed to say it, so I'm not going to say it. He uses you know, that program to put his movies on iTunes, so that he got like copies of that as well. TV. Oh, well, I still like TV. I mean, like I'm a sucker, but I like I prefer this. I think not no not Plex. That's like Plex is more like that's a stream thing, but I think what he means is like when you actually use that program and you take your DVD or your Blu-ray, depending on what drive you got, and you actually put it on your right onto your computer. You format it. Oh, Plex is like it's a free thing. You can actually get like a paid version of it as well. And if you got like Roku or something like that, for instance, like basically what it really is, it's like a streaming thing. So you can take the movies that you've got put on, like the other movies that you downloaded, or if you got like movies like physical media, you can just like upload them to your computer, and then so that like some people don't have a lot of space, they got apartments, right? So what they'll do, it's like Netflix and Hulu in the way but you do it yourself. So you rip your discs to you just break them in to to the digital format, and then we use Plex as a program. And what it'll do is when you put the things in, you can actually it'll come up on and it'll be like categorized. It'll have pictures, it'll have descriptions there a lot of time. And what's really cool, like sometimes the pictures will be wrong, you got to fix them, stuff like that. But it's interesting, and I have a lot of stuff that I do, early DVD stuff that I did have transferred over on an old computer. Well, not an old computer, on an old hard drive. So I have Plex, and I took a lot of the animation and stuff, and I put it on there because my better half, like when she goes to Morocco, like she can have if I give her the hard drive. It's down. Yeah, it's cloud-based Kubrick. When I give her the hard drive, right? And I installed Plex into her computer, so she just has to plug in the hard drive to the computer, and then she just like watches it on Plex. Plex isn't so much like a ripping program, because it doesn't really do anything. Like it doesn't really rip anything. Plex just takes what you've already got, and like you put it in folders, and it's cloud based. It's kind of like a streaming program. There are programs that rip, and some people use those to like to back up like the movies that they got. Some people use like other like ripping programs basically if it's in a different region, to get it like to unlock the region too as well. So that's been like that's the reason a lot of people used to use it back in the day. Did you know that initially, uh, just before I moved out of St. John's, when I was thinking, like I had planned, because I was downloading. Hey there, Jason. I was downloading all of my videos, my early stuff, and that as well. I had planned at the time to do like because at the time back then I was thinking about doing a Patreon type thing, and I was going to actually make a disc. I was going to take some of what I thought were my best episodes, and then I was going to film a couple exclusive episodes. I'm not going to do this now, just so you know, and put it on a DVD and have it like as a bonus type thing. You do not know how many hours and weekends I spent downloading my episodes and my content. Uh, it was insane. Anything that isn't official, well, this would have been official because it would be my official stuff. Uh, but for me, Plex was totally legal and legit because it was all stuff that I owned. Uh, oh no, it's not because here's the thing. Imagine Kubrick like, and I really got to get on this again. By the way, just no, not for that. I'm not going to do the DVD thing again. But I will be downloading them because I want to have them myself. Oh, there's 4 movies announced, Jason. Uh, Big ones too. The new VSA is announced with Spellcaster, which is a pre full moon Empire Pictures one with Adam Ant and Tracy Lind and I think Gail Grady. Uh, Memorial Valley Massacre has been announced. Really excited about that. A new Spanish horror film, Grave Robbers, has been announced, kind of a slasher film. And the last announcement was Killing Bird, otherwise known as Zombie 5, which I am super stoked about as well. So there's 4 big announcements that came from there. I have a big Millcreek video coming up in the future, and I picked up Return of Ultraman today. So I'm super stoked about Zombie 5. I know, I'm excited too. Because this is the zombie that I need. Yeah, the VSU, thank you, Scotter, is going to be released, going to be unveiled in 6 weeks. It's pretty weird, a Zombie 5 is. It's not the best, but I think it deserves to be owned. It's cool. What does everybody think? Does anybody have a guess at this point? Anything? What is VSU? What do you think it's going to be? So 6 weeks is approximately, I guess, so we're looking at when? Like October, November? October, right? So it's going to be an October announcement. Is it another sub-label or is it a streaming service? See, Vinegar Syndrome Underground seems the most likely, but what's it going to mean? Because it could be Vinegar Syndrome Unleashed, Vinegar Syndrome Unearthed. What's the most disappointing announcement release I've seen? Good question, actually. Uh, but I'm trying to think of one that I was disappointed in. There's actually a few. Probably when Nightbreed was going to be so expensive, I was super disappointed at the time. But I bought it. There's a couple. Oh God, let me think about it. I'll come back to that one. Vinegar Syndrome Universe. There's yes, that's the thing. There's so many options that it could be. Shot on video. Well, shot on video is being done from Severed through Intervision. And I guess AGFA has a lot of shot on video. So does there's a few shot on video companies, but it depends on how they do it. Vinegar Syndrome University, all student films. Was there anything that's totally let me down? I had the Blu-ray for Tourist Trap, and it was cut, and from Full Moon, so that was a disappointment. And Terminator 2 on 4K actually doesn't look. It's pretty waxy. 8mm version films. What they do, Jason? You can see some like 8 or 60mm versions of films on some of the Air releases. But it's a real good throwback. Like I know they did it for Incredible Melting Man, and they did it for a few others as well. Uh, Back in the day, my dad used to have all these like famous monsters of Filmland, uh, and they would and they used to in the back they'd have like you could buy like get like horror of Dracula like 8 millimeter and stuff like that and 60 millimeter. Vinegar syndrome underwear. They go with those severed nipple like pasties, right? Vinegar syndrome underwear and severed nipple pasties. There you go. It turned me on. I'm sure there's lots of them. There's lots of like cute actresses in films. But I don't think I've ever bought anything like specifically for that reason. I'm sad to say. I have adult ones, and never bought those for that reason either. Vincent upgraded. There's a good thing. Uh, yeah, can you? Oh my God, Vincent upgraded. Can you imagine if VSU is a 4K line of Vinegar Syndrome releases under a Vinegar Syndrome upgraded label? What would you guys feel about that? What's your thoughts be? Because they've done extremely well with Rad, with Tammy and the T-Rex. They got a couple other 4Ks coming out around that time. Interesting thought, Warlock. Real interesting thought. I'm not sure if that's where you're going with it, but that's what I thought of it. When you said that, as soon as you said that, that's what I thought. Can I make a lunch with Morocco? Well, what is Moroccan attire? It's not really any Moroccan attires so much. This is what I wear in Morocco too. But some cover the mouse. Oh, there's a couple like that. Like that was really tame like I'm gonna save some of these questions for like a Cult of Cinema Underground episode, guys. Don't get me in trouble here. Maybe update to the library enhancement. It'd be interesting because we're seeing like 3D releases as well. Do we have an adult section? Well, I don't have a section as such, but I do like Vinegar Syndrome, right? So I got some through there. Uh, Not a slot, not the ones that I just. I'm weird. I grab them for weird reasons. I watch movies, but I study film as well, and that's been like I guess that's the difference. It's like sometimes it's take a bit of the fun out of that part for it. Is that when I'm watching a movie like that, I'm usually doing like a Vinegar Syndrome, Vinegar Syndrome, Call of Cinema Underground or so, or type of thing. Call of Cinema After Dark, was what I call it. So when I'm watching a film, like an adult film, usually I'm taking notes. It's not exactly the sexiest time. Uh, I did back in the day have a few hentai films. I won't say what they are, but I did have a few of those. But yeah, no, for me it's like boring and taking a lot of notes when usually when I'm doing a release. Oh yeah, they were real movies. They had to be real movies. The Vinegar Syndrome pre-order announcement for September is amazing, Warlock. I like absolutely every single one of those films. Um, I think that every one of them is worth a buy. Uh, is definitely worth a buy. Memorial Valley Massacre. Again, that's one that I initially like found on on Millcreek. Uh, Grave Robbers, right there. I know nothing about Grave Robbers. I've never seen it, but it looks extremely intriguing. Uh, Obviously, Zombie 5, because I got the rest. Zombie 5, been waiting for somebody to put. I thought Severin will put it out, but super stoked to see that come out. Uh, just so much goodness in this stuff, in this these announcements. Yeah, even the AGFA now, because the AGFA what's the name? Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things or something like that, right? I'm gonna get the title wrong, but it was initially a Vinegar Syndrome DVD, right? And this is a 4K upgrade to the DVD. Not sure if it's the same cut or not, but I'm guessing it's probably the same cut, but it's upgraded with like extra features on it. And I think it was called Aunt Martha's Dreadful Thing. So I think this is like the third Vinegar Syndrome that they did. I would definitely say it's still worth a watch. Fleshpound on 42nd Street is a really good film. It's uncut, especially. Uh, I need to get the Tsukamoto set. I just I can't. Because it's just too expensive. I will get it one of these days. I'll probably pay through the nose. Like I still have to order, and George, I know George ordered it. The Fu Manchu set. Fun City Editions were announcing their next release soon. I'll keep you updated on that. I mentioned Fun City Editions. By the way, if you haven't checked out the release that they had come out like last month, uh, super cool. I definitely need to pick up that one. Um, Update my Lone Ranger box set unboxing. I actually will do that in the near future. Fun City Editions is really good. Well, I don't get into political stuff some, but if you want to know what side of the fence I'd be on, uh, some people would call me SJW, and I'd say thank you. That's as far as I go into with that. But that's the truth. Samuel, actually, yeah, I forgot. Thank you, Warlock, for reminding me. Yeah, the Samuel Fuller set. They had a big sale on that over the last couple of days. I forgot to mention it. I'm not sure if it's still going on, but if you don't have the Samuel Fuller set, it's still on sale from Indicator. Definitely grab it. It's a really great set. That was a clear answer. I don't normally talk like a lot of like political stuff on here. I'll leave that for like my Facebook and stuff like that. Is it over now? See, I suck at getting that information out soon enough. I apologize, guys. I should have put it down my Instagram or something anyway, so you guys would have known. Because I did hear when it came out. I often do listen to music daily. Good Lord. Several times a day. I love, like, I watch movie in between, like watching movies. I'm always listening to music. I got like a ton of music on here. Uh, oh, Morvan Massacre is a lot of fun, Jason. It is a real lot of fun. Uh, but yeah, and I listen to everything. Same. 2020 did. I don't know if I watched a lot of 2020. What do you mean? Like, is there a certain film in particular? Because I do not get what you're coming from with this. I do apologize. Uh, 2020 Disney. I don't even no, like not much came out this year. I mean, like everything's been like locked down. I'm a theater guy. I watched Hamilton. Current Disney system. Am I missing something? I don't like them remaking like animated films over to live action films. I find it kind of sucks. But I figure that's for a different generation. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really would know on that. Do I like Gilbert and Sullivan? Yeah, I do actually. Do you have a rare box set favorite? Good question. Rare box set favorite. I'm looking around to see if there's anything there. A few probably. Some of my BCI ones actually. Actually, I read Dungeon Studio that 4K controversy was made up. That Disney actually is going to be doing 4Ks for Fox and stuff like that. Like I think Forbes magazine actually did an article on it. Well, like, I'm nervous because I got a package that's been in like in customs for like about 6 weeks now, But Disney's like haven't stopped doing the. Yeah, Disney just like flat out denied the rumor. They said, you know, it's BS. That they will still be doing like releases, and I can't see them cutting off a revenue stream because people say, well, they're going to put all into streaming, but people also forget how long and how lengthy a process it is before streaming pays any revenue off for you. And just ask Netflix how long it takes streaming to pay off to be like a profitable like source of revenue. I really want to see Milan. I want to pay $30 for it though. I love the animated Milan. That's one of my favorites actually. Like song wise, I love the songs of that one. I'll Make a Man Out of You. Remember that? And the new Milan looked like it was like a kick-ass action movie. So I was kind of getting into that. Like mine right now is showing like it's supposedly a warlock in Ontario. That's what they said last update that I checked. Like I'm on the Canada Post, it doesn't say anything, just is coming from U.S. But on the if you go to USPS, well, I find that they're more updated. They're they basically that you know they'll tell you exactly where it's at. And mine was in Toronto, I think, the last time I saw it. Exactly. That's the thing. That's why streaming, I don't think, can ever really take over as much as people want, as much as companies might want to take over. And that's basically because there's still a heck of a lot of parts of the world and places, even in the U.S. and Canada, that just don't have the capacity to stream at the way that you would. That like me, for instance, perfect, fantastic. But other areas, smaller areas, that they just don't have it. Yeah, Disney Plus availability is so limited. We still have the thing where different countries have different like streaming things. I remember back in the day, like Netflix US used to be so much better than Netflix Canada. Now, honestly, I find it reversed. Don't go doing anything illegal there, culture training. Netflix, remember when Netflix had good stuff on it? Like seriously, you remember Netflix had good stuff on it? And when I watched Symphony of St. Valentine on freaking Netflix, and now like their horror movies are pretty generic. But I'm a the worst thing about that like $30 is if you lose your Netflix, sorry, you lose your Disney Plus thing, then you lose you lose the movie. I think that's what they said, right? Even if you get the Disney Plus back, you don't get the movie back. I don't know if that's true or not, but people rag on Disney a lot because they own a lot of stuff. That's the thing. Seriously. Oh, there's still some good stuff on Netflix. Just well, as you guys know, I'm going to be doing like I'm going to be because I think I'm going to be reviewing some of the streaming, well, all the stream services. Even though I'm physical media like hands down, I know that some of the viewers on here, they don't always click physical media, or that they have less money to get some of the stuff. So I want to like just do like go over the different options that are out there. And for me, like a streaming service like Shutter or Disney Plus or whatever, Amazon or whatever you use, or BritBox, is not something that takes the place of me buying media. No, if I'm watching something on a streaming service, and I like it, I'm going to want to own it. So if anything, the streaming services for me are the same as when I watch like specialty channels on TV. If I was watching Scream TV back in the day, or Scream, we're all about freaking you out. Uh, then uh, then I would like watch the movie, say, "Wow, this is a really good movie. I need to own this film," and I would go out and buy it. And it's the same thing right now, except but now I can do it more. that if I see something on a streaming service, it's not like, well, I've seen it. I guess that's it now. Like there are people, like they're casual people, like they're just like, well, I've seen the movie, I'm done. And if I see something I really like, it's like, that's really good. But now I need to know more. I need to know much more. So if I can buy an edition that has features, booklets, stuff that I can just dive into over and over again. Because here's the thing, on streaming services, you know what happens? Movies go away. Best thing with Prime is the same size. Disney's work with Leonard Maltin has been incredible. Like Leonard Maltin worked well with Walt Disney, and he was the genius behind their tin lineup, the Disney treasure sets. I think like any like big company, it's just kind of like it's right now it's edgy to hate on a company. Um, I don't know. I'm not like I don't do that a lot. I don't hate on a lot of companies. Um, to be blunt with you, because I think there's great stuff coming out from like across the board. And Disney is my childhood, man. Like for all of us, almost everybody here, uh, that was the thing. Like the Waldorf World of Disney. Like if you were like older than maybe you're younger, then you're probably one Disney afternoon, or the Fox Disney Hour type thing. Tron 3 would be. You think they will make Tron 3? It'd be. I would love to see Tron 3. The best thing, but for me, I wasn't big on Tron 2. It was okay. The best thing about Tron 2 was the Daft Punk soundtrack. That's that's the thing for me. Like the best thing about Tron 2, I love Daft Punk. So it was the Daft Punk soundtrack. Now there's a group I can listen to like all day long. There's definitely like sketchy things, but like all companies, stuff like that. Yeah, it was Daft Punk. I'm a big Daft Punk fan. REM is one of my favorite albums. Just like being in the Tron world, I get that. And when I say that, I'm not hating on Tron 2. It's an okay film. It's just you got to remember, I saw Tron in the theater back when Tron came out, um, so I had a lot of love for that universe. I keep hearing the Stinky Tuna thing, but I never looked into it that much. Is that like a bootleg thing or something like that? Because I think I saw their website once and it looked kind of like that. I don't know if they're evil. I mean, like, yes, they want money, but they wanted it back then. It's just they were very clever about it. Um, like, it's like I'll put it to you this way. It's like there's a studio system back. Hey, Stephanos. Welcome, man. There was a studio system back then. Like, did hit some pretty horrible stuff, like in the early days of cinema, right? Great cinema. You don't really want to know. It probably happened behind the scenes, but with some great movies came out in that time period. But yeah, it's just like nowadays. There's always going to be bad stuff and good stuff. Oh, I haven't seen the cartoon, man. And I really should get on that. But I understand the Fox thing though, because what would have happened? Like it is like here's the thing. I don't like to think like there's going to be a monopoly, right? But I also don't want companies to go out of business and just have their stuff go away either. Um, you know what I mean? So let's just say, for instance, that Fox, you know, went under, uh, and just went under. So there's you know, Disney buys Fox, and we eventually have the chance to get like some Fox movies and like stuff come out, um, on their old releases, or nobody buys it, and it has to wait a few years, like because bankruptcy and legal entanglements and stuff like that. Uh, and eventually, like way down the road, we see some of the stuff come out. Just playing devil's advocate, not like I'm not like being like argumentative or debatey or anything like that. I just kind of playing devil's advocate, really. I like the Star Wars. I love the Star Wars thing because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I've liked all the Star Wars films. You're probably not gonna like. I like all the Star Wars films. I worked for Comcast once, and I'm not sure if I want Comcast to have gotten Fox. Just saying. Uh, Not saying anything totally bad about Comcast. It's just, yeah, yeah, they were interesting people. But what I find interesting is like it's the not the big like the little companies, right? The boutique labels and stuff like that. Like that's where the key stuff's at. That's where the real big stuff comes from. Like Disney's gonna put out what Disney puts out. Let's be honest. Like and if you like that, you're gonna buy that. If you don't like, you're not gonna buy it. But it's the Mill Creeks, it's the Vinegar Syndromes, it's the Arrows, it's the Scream Factories, it's the Shout Factories and the Olive Films and the the Vestrons, the Severance. Those are the interesting companies. Like I'm like you, Jason. I try to support the small companies as much as I possibly can. Like they're the ones to go with, and they do so much hard work. And some people think that when they say names like Vinegar Syndrome, and they say names like Mill Creek, they think, oh, these are big companies, right? Twilight Time too. Did they announce it yet? About the new Twilight Time? Because if they did, I did not notice that. Then it's like the Tom Cruise Oblivion. There possibly could be actually. I'm always excited when I see a film come out from like a smaller company. Uh, Mondo Macabre, there, for instance, like they're announcing stuff all the time. They announced a movie recently too. But I said, really, Mondo Macabre. You know how Mondo Macabre got started? Basically, Mondo Macabre, the guy that does Mondo Macabre, for instance, okay, he wrote a book about like foreign like films, foreign horror films and stuff like that, like kind of foreign genre exploitation films. And then he realized, hey, you know what? All these movies I was researching, I couldn't find. I had to like really look for. And slasher too. Like there's a slasher cinema one. So he decided, if nobody else is putting it out, maybe there's a market for it. So I'll put it myself. Mill Creek used to do this. Look, 10 movie packs like this, combat packs. Now they're putting out stuff like Miami Vice, Andy Sedaris, uh, Ultraman sets. A lot of these small companies have come so far. Andy Rewind does some great, great stuff. I'm excited about. Uh, this is silly. Don't laugh. Battlefield Earth. Battlefield Earth is coming from Mill Creek with features, with the documentary. As they might have heard, oh yeah, with features. Uh, it's sad, Cubic Lover. Yeah, Dungeon. Battlefield Earth is coming out on Blu-ray from Mill Creek with features. And if you watch the recent like video, the interview that was done that Heath did on Serial Midnight's channel with Barrett Evans, And Inner Sanctum, yeah, that's coming out too. Iceman, thank you. That their newer releases, like the Battlefield Earth and the Inner Sanctum one, there's features on those, and really good features being done by Ballyhoo Productions. And if you know who Ballyhoo Productions are, they put out some damn good features. So I'm extremely excited about both of those releases. Actually spoke with Barrett today. Actually, very nice guy. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes special features can make a movie, you know, even better than you. It is kind of like Battlefield. Well, it's like Scientology. 'Cause John Travolta's Scientology, but it is such a gloriously over the top film, and the acting of Battlefield Earth. Like, just think about it. Do you remember the acting of Battlefield Earth? Like, the aliens are dudes with dreadlocks, and they look tall. I don't know, stilts maybe, uh, or big shoes, big lifts. But it is so. What was it that Ebert said about Battlefield Earth? About the about the film? He said that the director knows. Was it that you can tilt the camera? He just doesn't know why or how to use it. The Mandalorian's the most popular show, William. So there is no way they're gonna cancel like the Mandalorian. It's their cash cow. That's one they'll keep on. Have I ever met Milk? Well, you mean like I've met any guys from Millcreek? You mean not in person? No, but I did actually. I had to. I emailed Barrett today. I had to ask him a couple questions from Millcreek, and he was very nice guy. And I will be doing a video on that whole thing in the upcoming future. So keep an eye out for that. Have a great day. Don't forget Dungeon. You got to get that Battle Creek. Got to get that Battlefield Earth release. Yeah, the Mandalorian is that's gonna be a big one. I gotta look at my. I love Cisco neighbor. Gotta check that out. Gamera should be. Amy, question: has your Gamera shipped yet? Like, I'm not sure where you got yours from. Have you ever gone to booths at Cyber? Oh yeah, a lot actually. Vinegar Cinema wasn't in the ones that I was at. Trauma was. I got to speak to Lloyd and the guys. But so I got to go to Trauma's booth, and there's a smaller company called Black Fawn Productions, and I would go to their booth every year when I used to go there. Are you serious, Warlock? Where did you get yours at? Like, I mean, I ordered mine. Did you order one, Warlock? I pre-ordered mine from Amazon with something else that I'm going to be unboxing here next week, hopefully. George, have a great evening. Enjoy your movies, man. You got some cool stuff. I saw the pictures. Mine hasn't shipped yet either. I ordered mine from Amazon, and along with something else that was from the same company that's coming in at the same time. And but one of them has already shipped, and the Gamera set hasn't shipped. So Orlock, have you? From the pictures I've seen like a few unboxing things for that. What's his name? Frank, Matt Frank, did an unboxing. He's got did the artwork for the set, and he did commentary too. I don't have an estimated delivery date yet for mine. That's the thing that makes me nervous. It just says pre-ordered. I haven't got an estimated delivery date. Like, when I get estimated delivery date, I'll breathe a sigh of relief because I'll know that it's there. And Amazon screwed me over before in the way that basically, and I don't mind Amazon. I love like ordering from Amazon, not a problem. But when the Blood Island collection came out from Severin, I said, okay, I'm going to grab the. I was one of the first people to order it on Amazon, and it's sold out, and I never got it. The like comic, yeah, he's actually a fan. Like on the set, there's like there's a comic book, like a comic book, like graphic novel, and of course there's one story that he did. But what's really neat is he got the letters pages for all the Gamera books that Dark Horse put out, and Dark Horse put out. And one of the things on there is a letter from a 10-year-old Matt Frank who wrote in as a fan for to the Gamera comic, and now art. He's like doing the art for the set and doing a commentary on there. If that's not like just showing you anybody can make it up there, and it's incredible. Had a favorite director of mine contact me yesterday, and that was so you never know. I mean, you never know what's gonna. Probably, I'm not sure if the Perfect Door is inspired. I would say it is inspired with Rockford Falls because it's very similar in tone. A lot of people when it came out would like a lot of critics would call it like a modern day Rockford Files. And considering I almost went into private investigation, that's not a joke. Actually, I almost did. I went into business instead, but I was thinking about going into private investigation. I like Black Fawn. I mean, like they were nice guys. I mean, no one. Warlock. I'm guessing you probably saw them at conventions and stuff like that too, same as me, right? Because they would always be there. And what's the other company? There was another one too. Like there was a Montreal-based company, and they put out like a lot of like because like these short film collections and stuff like that. They were really cool. But yeah, I will always say support the smaller companies, support the Vinegar Syndrome, support the Millcreek, support the Severance, uh, like the little companies, the Sub Rosas, the guys like do smaller stuff like that, the MVD rewinds. Most I say I got a few. There's still a lot of got to get. They had some really great artwork on some of those releases. Uh, what's the one? The Psychotic Force Ranger. Is that the name of it? Is that Black Fawn? I can't remember if that's Black Fawn or not. Had money, they would have it. I know how you feel, man. Uh, they they got a lot of my money now, and I don't regret it. I like a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff around here. Yeah, and that's a really good cover. Like Warlock, that's a really good cover. Psychotic Force Range, it's a really good cover. Oh yeah, how could I not forget? Remember that the Fellini set is coming up from Criterion. Holy crap, it looks amazing. I only got one Fellini in my collection. It was Amarcord, so yeah, I'm probably going to get that one. My better half loves Fellini too. Unlike the Bergman set where she was on it, Fellini is something she'll watch. Not so depressing, right? Harpoon was the last release to put out. The 4K scan I want most from Blue Underground right now is not one you'd think about, but Daughters of Darkness I really want. Because the other ones I got in some form or another, and I can eventually get them. Daughters of Darkness I don't have in any form. Well, yeah, but not compared to come on, the depressingness of like Fellini as opposed to the depressingness of Bergman. Come on, there's different levels there, man. Hey there, Chris. Welcome, man. It's okay, Chris. A lot of people when they come here for the first time, where it's live, and there's a lot of interaction back and forth between people, find it a bit daunting. So, welcome, by the way, Chris, to the channel. We were talking today, by the way, earlier about Vinegar Syndrome and its and the announcements. We talked about Millcreek and the Ultraman sets and how big of a fan I am. And we've been doing a lot of conversation. Right? It's pretty much a free flow one. Say hi to Chris, guys. You'll always get welcomed here as soon as you come in. Every time after I do a podcast, I usually get some people to come in. Did you find me through the Just of This podcast, Chris? because a lot of people find me through there. But the collecting's been like, see this? Let's line this up. Let's line this up. Things like this, things like this here, are the reasons I love collecting physical media. I will completely fan buy out tonight when I put that back on the shelf to with the mural, because that's the way I am. Because I love physical media. I will have to get Spellcaster. Oh well, welcome to the channel. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. So, what I'm trying to do, Chris, more often, and I'm glad that you're here and you say that, is that sometimes I'll respond to somebody, and if you're watching this back, and say like some people don't watch this with the messages on, for instance, I'll forget to actually say what I'm responding to, which can be very frustrating for some people. Not just for you, but for people. And I've had that, like, that's one of the big things that I mentioned. That's been mentioned on my channel, like to talk more about like to if I'm going to say something to somebody, to like reference what I'm saying so that it doesn't come out of context, so like out of nowhere. So I'm making a concentrated effort to do that more. So if somebody asks me a question, I reference the question in my answer, as opposed to sometimes where I just answer and that makes no sense if you're watching this later on down the road. Oh yeah, it is Amy. Like, and it's been said a couple times. And it's one of the two comments that I get most of all are, "Can you please say the question, because I can't read the question, or I don't have it on, or they've got it like just shortly after it's been put up and like the stuff isn't up there." Or the other thing to say is there's way too many ads, and to that then I can only say like one thing: YouTube does that, not me. I have no control over the ads the way I used to, and because you used to be able to like take ads out and stuff of YouTube in the studio, but you can't do that so much anymore now. So Dave, you only got Ultra Q so far? Ultra Q is really good. So out of the Ultraman series, Ultra Q is the very first one. The second one is Ultraman. It's when Ultraman starts as Ultraman, the Takatsu character. But Ultra Q is very like much more the horror, sci-fi, like with the kaiju monsters, and like it was black and white. It's got like it's more atmospheric in tone and style. The Baron Spider episode, I think is the name of it, is of the scenes I've seen, and I remember that one a little bit, is the creepiest one, in my opinion, because maybe where I'm a bit of arachnophobe as well. Warlock, need to grab sets 4 and 5 of the series. Sets 4 and 5. So you need Return and Ultraman Ace, right? Return of Ultraman and Ultraman Ace. Because that's the last two. Oh yeah, Ultra Q is like Twilight Zone mixed with Outer Limits, is the way that I see it. Ultra Q is definitely a forerunner to X-Files. I do agree, Dave. Ultra Q is one of those shows that was so ahead of its time. You won't go the 4K releases because you got the Blu-ray releases, Trini? It depends. It depends on the film. And are you a fan so far, Warlock? Have you been watching them? Like watching all the Ultraman shows? Like if you watch I'm guessing you're collecting the Legacy Ultraman sets first, and you're like me, you're getting Legacy sets first, and you're going to be grabbing. Oh no, it's not critical at all. It's it's right actually. You can always be critical, especially in this type of critical because it helps with my channel. I don't know about young. If I sound young, that's then but I'm getting up there. But it's cool. I mean, Warlock. When it comes to the Ultraman shows, Ultra Q is going to be your horror-oriented show. Ultraman is going to be more a kaiju action type series. Ultra 7 is going to be your edgy one. That's when it's going to get more. It's going to get darker. Going to get a bit more extreme. It's the and I said it on here earlier. The Ultra 7 is your From Russia with Love of the Ultraman series. Then you're going to get Return of Ultraman. That's going to be your gold finger of the Ultraman series. And that's going to be like putting everything together that worked before and just making it work. And then you get into Ultra Ace, and that gets to become more of like it gets lighter for a little bit. Ultra Q is going to be the fun one for you then. If you haven't seen Ultra Q Warlock, I think that's one you will particularly like. Like short episodes. Some people can find some a little bit slow. I don't think you will though. Because I think I know your taste pretty well from talking on the channel. So Ultra Q, I think, is going to be something that you're going to be that's good. That's going to be interesting to you. Like the visuals are done extremely well. For like a lower budget show back in the time, it went extremely well. Where did I purchase my Ultraman sets? Well, see, Ultraman's being put out right now by Millcreek, and they're doing an amazing job with the series. They're putting out legacy sets, and they're putting out the newer, like the later 2015 and on sets, and they're kind of going backwards with those, I think. Mill Creek is putting them out. Unfortunately, Mill Creek doesn't have a storefront that you can buy from. Now, here in Canada, because I'm in Canada, you can get them through. I think Barrett said that they do some stuff with Sunrise. You can get some of the films at Walmart, but they don't have the series, the old newer series. So I haven't seen any of the legacy sets at Walmart. But Amazon CA for sure, and Deep Discount has an exclusivity deal with Mill Creek for the sets as well. To the point where there is a special set called The Birth of Ultraman that just that has like special that is just exclusive to a Deep Discount. That's gonna be a harder one for me to get because Deep Discount's a bit expensive. I hate when that happens. That happened to me, Chris. The Al Amson set, you missed out on it. 2 days after they got one in stock. I had the exact same thing happen, Chris, with the Blood Island set from Severin. I ordered it early on, and then they told me it was out of stock, and then it came back in stock for like a couple hours. It was gone again, but they had already canceled my order. They canceled on me though, like at that point. One of the neat things, by the way, about these sets here, guys, for those that don't have them, is that so Ultraman Ace, for instance. So this is the slipcover for Ultraman Ace, but if you open it up, one of the neatest things is that it has its own exclusive artwork. That is, it's a little detail, and each one of them comes with a booklet as well. Whoops, comes with the booklet, which has like episode guides, talks about the Ultraman character, the history of that series, shows the monsters and stuff like that. But extremely impressive sets. I do recommend them. I'll make you an Ultraman fan if you're not one yet, guys. You had the same thing happen to Warlock with with the Phantasm set. See, that's why I get so nervous. It happened to me with a set from Amazon UK. I was worried about it was something that I wanted. What was it? I think it was like one of the Hammer sets. I eventually got it. My Gemini purchase on Amazon was downgraded to pre-order yesterday. Ooh. Like I haven't. That's nightmare things that doesn't happen to me to a lot with Amazon, like losing like a lot of releases like that. But it has happened to me a couple times, and I get very nervous with big releases now. That's why if I can do it at the time, if I got the bones to do it, if I got the cash, I will go for the company first. If they had a like a Shopify like type place, yeah, for sure. Because I'm like serial, man. I'm like Heath. I want I want posters, man. I want Ultraman posters. I really do. I just I'm a geek. They're at Sunrise. You're so lucky. Do you get the Legacy sets at Sunrise? Do I think Severin will release the Al Lamson set without all the extras on it? Do you mean like do I think they're going to release some of them separately? Well, they've released the Carnival Magic one separately. I don't know if they release all of them separately. I think some may be exclusive to the set itself, but maybe some of the bigger ones might get releases down the road. I'd say maybe something like a Dracula versus Frankenstein could eventually get like a singular release. Depends on what the rights issues are with Severin on those sets. I know like we're still like thinking like there's going to be like a like hopefully a Black Emmanuel set, and there is going to be a Andy Milligan set that are supposedly coming. I'm nervous about something. I got like four like movies coming on Blu-ray from a friend of mine, and he got them out quickly, and he sent them out like good shipping, all that type of stuff. They get to BC, they go into border, but whatever it's called, like and you know, oh no, it's cool. Trust me, I'll make more errors speaking than you will typing. I'll just ask people about my pronunciation of certain actors' names. I did check out some Dexter releasing site. It's pretty cool. I mean, like not. Think about starting watching Doctor Who TV show. Do I recommend it? I definitely recommend it. I really like it. Like, are you gonna watch the old stuff, or are you gonna start with the newer series? It depends on what you're into. Like I personally, I've been watching it since I've been a kid, so I obviously started watching like Tom Baker, and then I went back a bit. To have the complete series box set of Republican Dial, I don't actually. I've only got the first season, which is horrible because I'm from Newfoundland and I actually am was living where Republican Dial was made. I used to pass the bar that was used. Do you remember that bar? Every day. The Sunrise in Your Area, series 2 and 3. Hey there, Kay. Welcome, man. Do I think they'll do the box with the book? I have never seen them do anything like that. Uh, with Severin, the like what you'll find, like Arrow does it all the time with their releases. Like Arrow redid the release for the Vincent Price set, for instance, right? The Corman Price set, and they did it for I think for the Ring and other sets like that. But I've never really seen Severin do it. It would be interesting to see if they would do something like that. But with Severin releases, I've never seen them like just put out like a bare bones one without the booklet. Well, it's a way about to get around the whole like limited editions like thing and putting out more of the copies if there's like a need there. First Seven Order you ever made up in Europe before making its way to you? My Seven Order is supposed to be in Toronto right now. That's where it was the last time I checked. Obviously, I'll be doing a big unboxing for the Seven titles. I don't have as big like as order as like a lot of people got. So there's really only 18 titles in my Seven order. But I will be unboxing them on here. So you guys get to see that. I'll go through all the Seven titles. We'll check them out. I ordered a damaged copy of like Gwendolyn, so we'll see how my copy turns out, how damaged it is. I'm excited. I'm hoping that Severin has like worked out their website issues for the next sale, because I felt really bad for them. I did because it was their biggest sale of all time, and their server was so not ready. And I know that they'd spent a lot of money and time in like investing in a new server so they wouldn't have that issue, and then they had that issue. So a lot of people like really ragged on me because I didn't get up get up in arms. But in all honesty, what the hell is that going to do, right? Like, how's that going to help? I'm not a ranter. Gift for, gift for your wife? Is it what I think it is, Warlock? The Lindsay Baker set, Dave, that Severin put out is an incredible release. I really got to do a review of them. I've watched all four of the films. I've listened to I looked at a lot of special features as well. Even read the comic book. If you haven't picked up the Umberto Lenzi Carol Baker set, I will strongly recommend it. It is a fantastic set. Like a spoiler alert for the review that I'm going to be doing. But I will go through all four of the films. Are you sure? Yeah, I actually asked my better half. Said, "Hey, do you want any pasties?" And she's like, "Screw you." But I actually got something from my dad this time around. I think it was like Father's Day around that time. Father's Day is my dad's birthday. Or like around the time of Father's Day, my dad's birthday. But but yeah, I can tell you what I got him. It's not like a secret, but I got him Bahia Blanca because he likes Jess Franco. When the Wind Blows, and your very first Vinegar Syndrome is Ice Cream Man. Good choices. When the Wind Blows is a good movie. It's like a bit depressing. It's like Threads. I want to get Threads down the road from Severin else. It's going to be a bit of a hard like watch. Because I've seen The Day After. I've seen Threads years ago, and it was gut wrenching. Same as When the Wind Blows. It can break your heart, man. But hey, Gnome the Norm broke my heart. There was a series that came on. It was a kid show. Heartbreaking ending. Just gonna say right now. Because basically the characters, I won't, spoiler alert, they kind of die. Kind of like if you ever watch the show Dinosaurs. Remember this dinosaur series? You just come on. It was kind of like it was a sitcom, Dinosaurs. Uh, and at the end of the series, the ice age happens and they all die. Your very first Vinegar Syndrome is the Forgotten Jolly set. That's a good start though, man. I like that set a lot. I love the Forgotten Jolly set, Dave. If you like Forgotten Jolly set, definitely get the Berta Lenzi Carol Baker set. You probably got it, but it's an amazing set. There's another like Forgotten Jolly set coming out in November, guys. So that's gonna be volume 2. I'm both looking forward to it and not because it's gonna be super expensive. Seven had a quick sale where they're losing the rights to certain films. Was that the Bruno Mattei films? Because I remember that sale, if that's the one that I'm thinking of, where they're losing rights to certain films. Like there was a lot of Bruno Mattei films that they lost the rights to that are no longer on the site. Dolomite was your first Vinegar Syndrome pickup. My first Vinegar Syndrome pickup was Night Train to Terror, which I think is a great start for Vinegar Syndrome pickup because you get Night Train to Terror, which is a really cool, insane release, and you get the extra movie Greta on there, which I love actually. So that was actually super cool. I had no idea who Vinegar Syndrome was. I just knew I really wanted Night Train to Terror, and that was my first release that I ever picked up from them. I was back in the days when they used to have like the blue cases as opposed to the clear ones now. Do I think the rumor of a Howling movie set in the works for Vinegar Syndrome is true? Uh, I've heard. I've heard that when they were doing the Anvil Curse collection, that was between Amityville and The Howling. That was initially something that I'd heard put out there. And at the time, I wondered, why would somebody put that out there if they weren't going to do it? Was it the gauge response? And that got me thinking. Maybe The Howling set is something that's going to be coming in the near future. Yeah, I would want it. See, because they're not going to go with 1, 2, or 3. Shout Factory, Scream Factory's got 1, 2, and 3. So what they're going to go with would be 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's basically Howling, New Beginning. I can't remember what the fifth one's called. Sixth one's called Freaks, and 7 is New Moon Rising. Do you have any shot on video horror films? I do actually. Literally, pretty much right in front of me. Things like Things, which is definitely a shot on video horror film. Yeah, a few of those type. I have a couple of Xenovision titles: Murder, Lust, The Jail, The Women's Hell, and I got some like the what's it, the slasher classics, whatever they're called. Like Deadly, was it Deadly Force? Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. Fur covered box. That'd be cool actually. Fur covered box for like that. Your First Severin is A Handful of Jolly. Wax Mask, great film. Oh, Strange Vice of Miss Warson, one of my favorite Jolly films. Does it start with 4? Yeah, so yeah, it would have to start with 4. And since I own the rest, 100%. That would be like if they announced it, I'd be begging my better half to get the Howling set because I would want it so bad. Just like the Angel set, it's a given for me because I just like that stuff. The Major League, you had the Major League release kit that's covered with the AstroTurf. That was kind of cool. I like gimmicky covers like that. I find them fun. But with that being said, guys, it's 9:30 here. I'm epileptic and I forgot to take my pills, which I was supposed to take an hour ago. Pump, 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 pump. Don't worry, I'm okay. So, for those newcomers like Chris, thank you for coming in. For everybody that's been here before, thank you guys for coming in. I hope to see you guys again soon. It is that time, Kubrick lover. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. I am super stoked about the upcoming Vinegar Syndrome releases. I am going to watch Ultraman tonight. Thank you, Millcreek, for putting this stuff out. You guys rock with this stuff. You are the cult of cinema. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. And I got to unmic, go upstairs, get some tea, and I will see you guys really, really soon. It's time for tea. Have a great night, guys.